Slamdy, Ago, Slamdy, Ago, Slamdy, hey. You already know what's up. What's that? Another home run. But you know the job ain't done till we hold that trophy up. Hey.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Episode 612, Talking Friars podcast and YouTube show. Ben Fadden with you here, June 26th, 2024. And the Padres have swept the Washington Nationals out of town. They take game 3 today, which was, it should have been much easier than what it ended up looking like on the box score if you weren't watching this game. I did not, just full transparency, I did not watch all of this game. I was working, but I kept getting alerts of, oh my gosh, Kyle Higashioka, homers, and then a grand slam. But then the Nats come back and they make it close, and it's an 8-5 game, and then Robert Suarez has to pick up a baseball, which should not happen in an 8-0 game, to start the inning. Shut out through the first 8, and then Tom Cosgrove struggles. From what I saw, a lot of pitches left over the middle of the plate. Walked one guy as well, but 4 earned runs from him, couple hits, Adrian Morejon as well, couple of hits, but was able to finish the job there, and that's what matters. They got the win. They didn't have to use Suarez. They can have the off day now. Estrada, right, Suarez, Estrada, if they would have been used today, that would have been 3 days in a row. The Padres, they're obviously trying to avoid that at all costs. So that was good that the Padres had the cushion. Because if they didn't, then those guys probably would have been pitching. One of them in this game. But yeah, a lot to talk about, obviously. I think what we're going to take away from this Pods Nat series is not what happened today, although there was good stuff that happened today. It's what happened in the first 2 games of this series, and especially the second game, because of what happened in the first game and all the anticipation for, what was going to happen in that second game, and it only lived up to it and more. It didn't just live up to it. It was more than that. So I'd love to have anyone join the show if they would like to. Click that link pinned up at the top of the chat, and then I will get into the comments, the questions as well. First 2 games, I obviously already gave my post-game reaction, so I may not go as long on those first 2 games, except the moments, the big moments in those games. I will obviously continue to give thoughts on that. But today, Padres win this one 8-5. You guys are going to have to help me out on this one because, again, I was not watching the entire game here. So if you have questions, concerns from this game, or just thoughts on this game, feel free to put that in the chat. But Dylan Cease, from what I saw, was tremendous. This was the Dylan Cease the Padres traded for. This was the Dylan Cease that the Padres got in some outings more at the beginning of the year. And it was like, all right, Cy Young Dylan Cease, here we go. And then it kind of fell apart for Dylan Cease standards, home runs, not being able to go 5 innings like his last outing, for example, strikes out a bunch of guys, but wasn't able to go 7 like he did today. I think he struck out 10 his last time, struck out 9 today, and was able to go 7 innings. Only gave up 1 hit. That's sure going to help. We know the talent is there. The velocity is there. And when Darvish doesn't make his spot start, by the way, the Padres winning the spot start yesterday, the major spot start, and they gave up 7 runs to the Nats and found a way to win the game. That's awesome, because that's one of the categories. You set it up that way, how I just said it. You put that game into the category of, yeah, you should lose that game. They can start making up for the games that they should have won that they didn't win so far, earlier on in the season. But today, it was nice to have that length from Dylan Cease. And if he can give this to the Padres and pitch to the standards that he has, the Padres have, that fans have for Dylan Cease, that's going to go a long way, because then you have a rotation. Let's forget Darvish and Musgrove, because we don't know when they're going to be back, especially Musgrove, who, by the way, the update there, he is throwing flat ground, so that was good to see today. And Xander Bogaerts, he's swinging a bat. 2-hand follow through. He's going to be on the road trip in Boston, so that'll be cool for him going back to Boston, I would assume, because he's loved there, obviously. What was I saying? See, I veer off on these paths, and then I try to go back to what I was saying. Oh, the rotation. So Without Musgrove, without Darvish, what is it going to look like? Well, Dylan Cease, Michael King, Matt Waldron, who all three of those guys have shown that they can pitch like frontline starters. And then you've got someone like Vasquez, who's had moments, but obviously you're going to lower the expectations for him. And then Adam Major, for however long that is, the Padres are looking for pitching. They're obviously connected to Garrett Crochet. Jesus Luzardo is dealing with an injury right now, so he's going to be out, I think, 4 to 6 weeks. So the Padres probably want to make sure that he's healthy before they really go all in on him, if they are even going to go all in on him. So, yeah, I mean, Cease being big, like that gives you three guys that we think we can rely upon, right? And then two, we'll see. That's much better than two, and then three, we'll see. You don't want the majority of your rotation, even if you have two frontline ability guys down with Darvish and Musgrove. You don't want your rotation to be a majority of, well, hopefully, let's see what we can get. Let's see what we can. Hopefully, they can go 5 and they can keep us in the game. It's putting pressure on your offense, and an offense that doesn't have Fernando Tatis Jr., obviously. That's what started this series, right? That was Monday. Feels like forever ago because of everything that has happened. But on Monday, the Padres announced that Tatis is going on the IL. Tatis speaks to the media after the game, doesn't know when he's going to return. Definitely after the All-Star break, but doesn't know when. It's a serious it's a bone thing. It's not a muscle thing. Stress reaction, and he was feeling it throughout his entire body. He was feeling stuff going back to not cramps, full body cramps after the Korea series, but he was feeling stuff in San Francisco, that first series. That's early April. So he's been battling through this for a while here, which I respect Tatis for fighting through this. Obviously, the last couple weeks, it's clear, physically when we're watching him play, okay, this is not the same Tatis, but he was still producing offensively. He was still one of the Padres' top producers as of late before he ended up not playing those, few games, and then he went on the IL. So we'll see, but that just doesn't seem good for Fernando, but he's going to be back before the season ends, is what it seems like. I'd be surprised personally if he doesn't come back. I just got I don't know if it's going to be July. I got the vibe of hopefully August from Fernando. They can say, well, we're aiming for right after the All-Star break, but when it's a bone thing and it's that big of an injury where it's not something that you can just, I don't think, at least, I'm not a doctor, but I don't think that this is something that you want to, oh, it's 90%. Okay, let's go back now. It feels like this is something that you want 100% and you can run and there is no pain. You wake up the next day, there's no pain because you're going to get banged up when you come back from something else probably, right? That's just baseball. All these guys, it seems like, are banged up. We just don't know about all of them. So we'll see what happens with Tatis. But that was the day, Monday, when Major got called up to start in place of Darvish. We don't know when Darvish is going to come back. We didn't know before that day, why did he not make his pre-start scheduled bullpen? Because it wasn't a groin or hamstring issue. We find out that it's elbow inflammation, and Mike Shildt says it's a little elbow inflammation. I don't care, Shilty, with all due respect. I don't care what you say when you say a little elbow inflammation, because I just see elbow inflammation. And even if it's a little bit, well, it's still elbow inflammation. And that thought is going to be at least in the back of my head the entire season when Darvish is back, when he gets back. He seems more like a guarantee to be back than Joe Musgrove is, although we don't really know here. It seems like Darvish it's not going to be a long time, but when you say elbow inflammation, which is what Musgrove is coming back from right now as well, sorry. I mean, didn't he have the bone spurs in his elbow last year as well? So, yeah, that's concerning. Definitely something that we're going to be paying attention to. But Bryce Johnson comes up, and he's actually had a pretty good impact, I would say, right? Didn't he lay down that crucial bunt the other night? I know Wade had one as well. He's been playing right field, I think, every day because it was a righty on the mound, so they didn't have David Peralta go out there. Eggy Rosario comes up. He is taking balls in the outfield, I think. he wasn't going to be playing the outfield immediately because he hadn't had the reps out there, right? At least as far as I know. So a lot of moves happened on Monday, and then the action got started. Let's start there with Monday. Padres won that one 7-6. Profar has the walk-off. We can go through what happened in this game, but I think what everyone really cares about is the walk-off moment. But to get there, bottom two, Ha-Sung Kim, RBI single makes it 1-0. Higgy takes what was given to him off Patrick Corbin, who actually pitched pretty well, or at least the Padres made him look pretty good. Higgy doubles, makes it 3-0. Then top of the third, Meneses, that dude felt like he was up every inning this series. Remember, he's the one that got to Hader in 2022 as well, where Hader was really struggling. That home game, I think they were wearing their City Connects, and Meneses hit a ball, his first home run in the big leagues. Never heard of the dude, and he homers off Josh Hader. I think that's where Hader threw the ball into right field as well. Just yikes. Anyway, that's just my first thought when I think of Joey Meneses. Also, him hitting the homer off of Nick Martinez in the WBC last year. That wasn't very fun. But Meneses ground rule double makes it 3-1. Top five, Meneses again makes it 3-2. And Waldron, he didn't make a ton of bad mistakes, I didn't think, in that game. But to Meneses, there's some pitches there that he would like back. Top seven, Meneses again makes it 3-3 on an RBI single to left. CJ Abrams scored. Now we go to the 10th, where it's a tie game, and Enyo De Los Santos is on the mound. There's obviously a runner on second already, and it did not go very well for him. And I would not blame you if you thought that this game was over. And you kept watching because you're a Padres fan like me, but you see what happened there in the 10th, and it's like, okay, well, all this to lose like that in the 10th, not even to have a great chance. But I probably should have been thinking like this as well in the 10th inning when this is happening. Well, if they get one guy on base in the bottom half of the inning and a home run ties it, that's not that bad. We've seen bigger comebacks from the Padres this year. We've seen innings where they score 4 runs, and that's what they did here in the 10th inning. So going into the bottom of the 10th, it is a 6-3 ball game. Nick Senzel had that homer, and that's where it's like, all right, yep, not feeling great going into the bottom half of this inning. 6-3 game. Talk about a pitch you want to have back. The Senzel homer, definitely want to have that pitch back. So after that homer's given up, Wandy comes in, gets the ground out. So bottom of the 10th we go. Crony starts the inning at second base, and Donnie freaking barrels. What a guy. What an addition that has been by A.J. Preller. He's making like a third of the money that Tommy Pham is making. I was advocating for Tommy Pham, and I think that would still be an interesting piece to add before the deadline. He's on the freaking White Sox, so it's not like they're going to be, contending. They're obviously going to be selling Tommy Pham. So have Jurickson Profar, who has a chip on his shoulder in any little thing possible, which I love. If that's what gets you going, that's what gets you going. We know that Tommy Pham, he rolls that same way. So that would be interesting. But anyway, Donovan Solano, about a third of what Tommy Pham is making this year. Padres signed him. He didn't have a job. Padres were the most serious about Solano being able to help, needing his help at the big league level. Signs here, and he has been really good. He has the RBI double, doesn't make it anything. Runners on second and third. Leaper did not send Crony, knowing, like I said in my post-game reaction, knowing, hey, that run doesn't mean anything right now. If he scores, whatever, we still need to get more hits on top of this, so might as well keep Crony at third base and not risk him getting thrown out and taking away an out, taking away a crucial base runner. So second and third, Merrill comes up and a breaking ball, and earlier in the year, maybe he would have done this same thing, but breaking ball, stays on it, goes right back up the middle with it to center, and that scores 2 runs, makes it 6-5, but the job's not done yet. But when that happens, I'm feeling good. Like, okay, there's no outs here. Merrill just came through. We can do this here. There's a guy on base, no outs. Let's get this guy in, at least tie it and go to the 11th inning. But that's not what happened. Ha-Seong Kim walks. Then Schulte has Wadey replace Higgy. And why? Well, to lay down the sack bunt. Anyone that was wondering, well, why take Higgy out? Who was going to catch? Well, Brett Sullivan was going to catch, and that's totally fine. You want to get the guy that can lay down that bunt. And Tyler Wade, what a bunt that was. It wasn't like super far to third base, but that was okay. It was far enough where the third baseman was in, I believe. The catcher had to go out and get it, and all he could do was throw to first base. So he gets runners on second and third there. And then David Peralta pinch hits. He pops out. Wasn't a great at-bat. But here is where the chip started. The Nationals started it. You know, they want to get pissed off later in the series with Jurickson Profar or later this night, you know, on Monday with how he celebrated at home, which I'll get to. Well, then maybe they shouldn't have walked Luis Ariz. Now, I'm not saying that was like the wrong decision because Luis Ariz already has a walked off against the Dodgers. His first game, I believe, in San Diego, right? City Connect night, took it up the middle. He already has that experience, and he's a hit machine. So I don't blame Davey Martinez and the Nationals for not pitching to Luis Ariz and saying we want Profar, but it's pick your poison. You know, one of them probably was going to come through, and they decided to pick the guy that is the Padres MVP and should be in the MVP discussion. I don't care what anyone else says. He should be in the MVP discussion. I haven't crunched the numbers, and what I mean by that is just look up Fangraphs. I haven't looked at other guys' numbers. Shohei's, I know, I looked at WAR the other day, and F4, and Shohei's up there, Bryce is up there, like, you know, those types of guys. So not super surprising. I don't think F4 is very favorable to Jurickson Profar, but that should not be everything in an MVP vote. But it's June 26th. We can talk about that more down the line. But the Nats, they decide to pitch to the Padres MVP, and I'm not going to lie, wasn't feeling too great. First pitch, I think it was right down the middle. Profar swings right through it, and I'm like, yep, all right, that was the chance. That was the opportunity right there. And Profar, I think he fouled off some pitches there in that at-bat as well. Let's see. I'm going through it right now. Hunter Harvey was on the mound. First one, 97.6 miles per hour. Yeah, I'm looking at the zone right now. It was right down the middle. I mean, gosh, you got to hit that. Fouls off a ball that was middle in, second pitch, fastball. Hunter Harvey kept going fastball. Once he got hit on that breaking ball that one time from Merrill, he just did not depart from that fastball, if like barely any, if at all. So it's 2-2 after, so 2 strikes, then 2 balls, and then foul ball again. So 7th pitch of the at bat, Profar gets a breaking ball, a splitter outside of the zone, just puts the ball in play, pokes it into right. Off the bat, I was like, okay, please be a bloop single. I was not expecting it to almost hit the wall, almost go out. And Lane Thomas trying to run it down, couldn't get to it. And with the runners on, boom, game's over, just like that. It happened pretty quick. I was not expecting that from the Padres. You can call me, oh, you're a doubter, whatever. I mean, I think every fan base in baseball, I don't care what team you are, when you see a reliever kind of melt down and give up 3 runs in the 10th inning like that, you're probably not going to feel too good. I don't care if you're like the Dodgers lineup or whatever, Phillies, you're probably not going to feel too good. You're going to stay up and watch it, obviously, but you're not going to feel great about your team's chances, even with the runner on second base. But this Padres team, they fought. They didn't care what it took. If it takes Tyler Wade pinch hitting just to get a bunt down, then that's what it takes. If it takes Ha-Seong Kim walking to get on, that's what it takes. I don't know if you guys saw the pictures as well. Ha-Seong Kim running around the bases. Did you see how happy that guy was? I love that picture. That was amazing. And then let's get to the Profar celebration, right? So, well, first off, just personally, how I consumed that inning there. Inside, I was freaking out a little bit because I'm watching the game on TV. And sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this. She turns off the internet by mistake, but she turns off the internet. And so it stops. Padres TV stops. and I have to go pull up my phone and try to pull it up on there, at least the game cast, MLB.com, whatever, MLB app. And so I see Merrill single, and I'm like, great. I would have loved to see that. I see the situation, and I'm like, all right, hopefully we can get this thing back running. And we did, pretty much in time for, I think it was the Wade bunt. I want to say that's what it was. And then we obviously saw it. So all was good. But yeah, that's I had a little bit of not panic, because like whatever is going to happen is going to happen. I can go see it after, but I would have liked to see the entire inning live, but whatever. Can't do anything about it. Anyway, the celebration from Pro. So I did not realize this in the moment, but he literally was running at the National dugout, jogging at the National, staring at the Nats dugout. It was clear. He can say post game that, no, it was to the fans. Yeah, a lot of it was to the fans. But initially, unless he was like staring down was it Wade? Was it Wade down that line? Someone was down, Merrill maybe? Was it Leaper that he was staring at? Like, if he's going to say that, I still don't really buy it. He was looking at the Nationals dugout. And I don't care. This is sports. This is fun. Would I have liked it if Winker was staring down the Padres after walking off the Padres at Nats Park? No. But it's sports. Pitch better. You're up by 3 in the 10th inning. Don't allow the Padres to score 4 runs. Just play better. Go win the baseball game, and then you don't have to worry about that. So I loved how fired up he was. It's sports. It's competition. And Profar took it personally. The Last Dance, MJ, I took that personally. Profar took it personally. He felt disrespected, and I totally understand that. And I love that about just pro athletes, They'll take any little thing. And that wasn't a little thing. I mean, it happened in front of everyone. Sold out crowd. Everyone's watching on TV, and you walk a rise to get to Profar. And everyone knows in the building how great of a year Profar has had, including the Washington Nationals, and they decided to pitch to Jurickson. So it wasn't little, but they take that slight, that motivation. They got that chip on the shoulder. And by the way, during that at-bat, I failed to mention this for some reason. He gets knocked down, right? Ball's almost at his head. And so that pisses him off as well, gives him even more ammo. I love it. I love it. I love having that chip on the shoulder. I love the competitiveness. I do. I love it in all sports. And some people may get pissed off about it, but come on. It's sports. Let's have fun with this, Anyway, so Profar's looking at the Nats dugout. He's pumping up the crowd after that. I loved how the Padres gave him his moment. Everyone was behind. He was walking back to the home dugout, and he was looking back to see where everyone was. And everyone was still in the infield, allowing Profar to walk to the dugout by himself so the fans could give him that moment. I thought that was pretty cool. And then he comes out for the post-game interview, pretty weak. Gatorade toss, to be honest, or was it water? I forget. Pretty weak. Profar saw it coming. I don't even think it got a whole lot of Profar. So, let's be a little bit better on that, Manny and Wade. Or maybe don't have Manny do it, because of the whole elbow thing. I would hate for him to hurt something doing that. Maybe have it be like Eggy and Wade. Something like that. Who knows? Anyway, I just love the passion. I love the post-game interview, how he admitted right there, yeah, I felt disrespected. And so there was that. And then video comes out. I didn't see this till I think the morning after. Video comes out of Jesse Winker. If anyone's been down by the visitors' dugout, there's that tunnel, not where the players go, because they go through the dugout, obviously, and in the clubhouse, but there's the tunnel where everyone else, the VIP and the guests, they come through that tunnel. Players sign autographs there sometimes for fans. And Winker was in that tunnel talking to a 66-year-old Padre fan. And the Padre fan was hilarious. That guy, it was weird because it stood out because he had a blue undershirt on with his Padre jersey on. So his colors did not match. But he was yelling at Winker I'm 66. What are you, 26? Pretty much saying dude, why are you arguing with me? And he thought that it was Bush League, that the Nats went up on Profar. I don't know if I forget if he thought it was Bush League that they didn't pitch to Rise. I don't know. But I think it was the pitch to Profar. And I'm sure where he was sitting, he couldn't tell if it was super close to Profar or if it was just a high pitch that Profar, your reaction, I would probably have that reaction as well. You just jump out of the way because you have such a short amount of time to react. But I thought that was a hilarious interaction. Winker, what are you doing, dude? Why are you doing that with the fan? Why are you getting into it with the fan? Just go into the dugout, take the L, bye-bye. And then that's what made it hilarious, I think, the next night when Manny hit the freaking bomb over in the left, smashed that ball. Who did he hit it over? Jesse Winker hit it right over his head. So that was funny. But game one, great atmosphere, felt like a playoff game. Anyone who wants to joke around with Padre fans about that, I don't care. Have fun. Whatever floats your boat. Now, game two happens, and I was wondering if something was going to happen. Was there going to be a message sent by the Washington Nationals? And first inning comes, Jurickson Profar comes up to the plate, and Keibert Ruiz, out of all people, Keibert Ruiz gets in Profar's face. And he, which I did not see in the moment because I was working, and so my phone was blowing up. I didn't see it live. And I was like, oh, the bench is cleared. Holy crap. So Keibert Ruiz gets in Profar's face. Not only that, but he is pointing at Profar. Like, no, dude. You don't point at Profar. Who are you to be pointing at Profar? I get you want to stand up for teammates. You didn't like what Profar did, whatever. You can say that. But to stand up, get in his face, instead of just, hey, MacKenzie, go strike Profar out. Let your talking be like with your play. But instead, your whole team talked, and the Padres talked with their play and swept you guys. So hopefully you guys, your words there, your yapping was worth it. But then he's pointing aggressively at Profar like a manager. You know how a manager gets ejected and he's all pissed off, he gets right in the umpire's face? That's what Ruiz was doing to Profar. And Profar didn't want any of it. He was like, let's play baseball. And he was saying that post-game as well. Let's just play baseball. I don't want to do this. And then he was forced into it because Ruiz kept getting in his face, and then he touched Profar. You can talk to me. You can't touch me. When you touch me, you go over the line. And so Manny goes in there and, pushes Ruiz away. And not like he had any force with it, by the way. He's just that strong and just pushed him away. And Ruiz was like backpedaling. So that's kind of funny when, Manny comes out there and he's like, you want to talk? Is there a problem here? And all of a sudden, you don't see Ruiz as confident and as up there in Profar's face. So bench is clear, bullpen's clear, and I'm like, waste of time. When I saw it, that was my reaction, like, waste of time. Why are we clearing the benches before Profar gets hit? Ruiz, why are you getting in his face? You can squat behind the plate and talk to Profar, but why are you getting in his face? Why are you pointing at him? Why are you touching him? And Ruiz didn't get ejected somehow. Nope, he doesn't get ejected. Then Gore hits Profar with 97.7, and I don't think that it was on purpose. And the Padres, at least publicly, of course, they're going to say they don't think it was on purpose. There are Padres fans that thought it was on purpose. Don Orsillo on the broadcast thought it was on purpose because on the Manny call, he mentioned intentional. The Nats intentionally meant to hit Profar. I'll play the call because it was tremendous. Nats meant to, or they intentionally hit Profar. Manny intentionally hit that out of here. How do you like them apples? Love that call from Don, by the way. But yeah, I just don't understand why Ruiz was not ejected. And then, so warnings were issued. Gore hits Profar, and even if it wasn't on purpose. It was on purpose. I feel like you hit him in the back, you hit him in the butt, the thigh, but he hit him in the foot. Like, it was a breaking ball, hit him in the foot. You know, that's a little bit different. And I saw MacKenzie's reaction. He may be a Hollywood actor, but that was the reaction of, we literally just cleared the benches. I don't feel like hitting Profar. You know, I'm gonna try to get him out. Maybe Davey Martinez said hit Profar, and so Gore didn't want to do it, and so that's the way that he did it. But I don't think that it was intentional. But even if it wasn't, it should not be a judgment thing for the umpires. The umpires should send the message to the Nationals or whatever team it is. If you put warnings out there, the bench is just cleared. You put warnings out there to both benches, and the first pitch after it, the guy gets hit that's in the middle of all this, you got to eject the pitcher. You got to throw out the pitcher. You got to send that message, and the umpires failed to do that. That game could have gotten out of hand there. The Padres decided to just, play baseball and talk with their play on the field, but that could have gotten a little dangerous there. Because what if Major would have went and hit C.J. Abrams, hit Jesse Winker, and it wouldn't have been in the foot. Maybe, what if it would have been upper body? And we would have maybe had an issue. So I don't agree with the umpire's decision there. And I thought it was funny what Mike Schultz said post-game, and he had the chuckle with it. I'll load it right here, actually. He was as, curious as us, as why was Gore not ejected, but I was ejected from across the field. So I'll pull it up here.
Again, I think completely unintentional. MacKenzie hits Pro at 98. And I'm the one that gets ejected.
You can hear his laugh there. I'm the one that gets ejected. Like, what? Make that make sense. And Schultz was obviously pissed off. He got ejected for going out there and arguing, I guess. Maybe he got ejected. I don't know when he got ejected. Did he get ejected when he just stepped out of the dugout, or once he started saying things to the umpire? I don't know. But that was poorly managed. But what happened right after that? Manny hitting a freaking bomb with Profar on base, and Profar gets to walk around the bases with his arms up, and Manny is walking to first base, and he's pumping up his dugout. I mean, that's a signature Padres moment for Manny Machado. I know he had that homer in the NLCS against the Phillies, right? In that home, right, kind of blowout win, right, against the Phillies. I know that happened. I know there are moments in the postseason with Manny. I know there's I think he homered. Maybe I'm thinking of, that wasn't postseason. That was against the Rangers, where he hit the walk-off grand slam, right? Against the Rangers at home. There's that. There's obviously his on-field moments. There's the Korea home run. There's some cool moments for Manny. The home runs at Dodger Stadium, right? With the whole freaking crowd booing him. There's moments, but something like that, where bench is cleared, your guy gets hit, you don't let the other team get away with it, and you hit a freaking bomb. It wasn't a wall scraper, a bomb off of MacKenzie Gore. And it's a packed crowd, and that crowd went nuts. I don't know about you guys, but it feels like that crowd went more nuts for that than the Profar walk-off the night before. As I said in my post-game reaction, everybody in the park, it felt like, knew what was going on. They weren't just there for the Ha-Seong Kim bobblehead. They were there to see what was going to happen between the Padres and the Nats. What was going to happen with the whole Profar situation. And they knew, and they were ready to back our guys, to back the Padres. And I absolutely love that. I'm loading the Manny call, by the way, because that was freaking amazing. 1 second here. And by the way, I'll get to the call. But after Manny homers, to see everyone out of the dugout for him. And I think I was reading Kevin Acey's Padres Daily, and it was Tatis that, kind of got that going, to have everyone get out of the dugout. But to see that support for the guy that's the captain in there, whether you like it or not, he's the captain in there. That was cool. The celebrations, him and Merrill with the jump what do you call it? The like arm bang. I don't know what you call it. The McGuire and Canseco, right? They kind of started that way long ago in Oakland. But yeah, it was great. Just I'm rewatching it right now. The celebration. Everyone is out of the dugout. All of the players. There are Musgroves out there. There's a bunch of guys that don't have their uniform on. They have, their brown top on. And Bogarts, he was on the dugout steps, and there's a picture out there of him like screaming in excitement right into Manny's face. I just loved it. But anyway, here is the call. Manny Machado, first inning, 1 out, runner on first. Profar just got hit by a pitch. And Manny Machado takes MacKenzie Gore deep. And the ballpark goes nuts. Don Orsillo's call right here, maybe I'm biased, but I'm ranking that 10 out of 10. Because I love the voice change here. You'll hear it. The voice change, and then just on the spot, the whole intentional stuff. How about them apples? I mean, look at this.
Manny Machado will see if they can make a pay. High drive, deep left field. Winker back at the wall. Take that, says Manny Machado. Profar's fired up, and he should be. They hit him intentionally, and then Manny hits one out of the yard intentionally. And the Padres take a 2-0 lead. How about them apples?
I mean, moment of the year so far. I know that there's it's recency bias, and there's the comeback against the Cubs. There's wins against the Dodgers, right? But, I mean, to have that call from Don, the atmosphere there, what just happened, the walk-off the night before, bench is clear, your guy gets hit, and then you hit a freaking bomb. And I think right there, it was like, yep, Padres, it's their night. This is the night to just celebrate this. But what a call. I was listening to Jesse's call earlier today as well. Great call from him. I mean, he was pumped. I think we can tell the difference for those that listen to the radio between Jesse, super pumped up, and Jesse, home run, but he's calling the home run. It was a different Jesse that I heard there on that radio call. But Don's call, my goodness. And while he was talking about Profar, they showed Profar going from third to home. He was walking. He wasn't jogging in there. He was walking with his arms up. Like, let's go. Freaking amazing. I mean, that's the moment of the year so far, I would think. Maybe it is recency bias. Maybe I'm totally forgetting something. But I know it wasn't against the Dodgers or something, but come on. That was just sick. That was so freaking cool. So there's that. And then Profar hits a grand slam. So, by the way, the Manny homer makes it 2-0. Top three, Jacob Young singles, 2-1. Lane Thomas triples, it's 2-2. Jesse Winker homers, it's 4-2. Then the Nationals, they wanted to get confident and cocky. And, with the whole sound on tweet because of how loud the homer was or whatever. I think the Nationals TV network X account tweeted out, like, I forget what it was, because I copied their tweet and put it later in the game of a picture of Profar smiling. This game, when Winker homered, this game, and they put popcorn next to it. That made it 4-2. And then later in the game, I had some fun with that. So Crony singles, it's 4-3 in the bottom of the fifth. Solano comes through again. 5-4 Padres lead. Then bottom six comes. Profar hits the granny. And that's where he is smiling ear to ear. This is our house. And the pictures come out. And then I quote tweeted the Nats. And I'm like, this game, popcorn. Because that was fun. That was a fun moment right there. I couldn't believe it for a second. Like, I was watching it. And I'm like, stay fair. Stay fair. No way he just did that. No way. And I'm like, home run. And then I look, oh, it's a grand slam. Bases were loaded. And this is the Jurickson Profar series. right there, it's like, I mean, already it probably was, but to be hit by a pitch, everything's centered around you, and then just the knockout blow, because the Nats weren't going to come back from that. I know it was 9-7. They weren't going to come back. Once Profar hit that grand slam, it was done. And Petco goes nuts. His celebration's awesome. The Padres are so pumped up for him. How can you not love Jurickson Profar? You know, a guy that had a good year in 2022. Like, he was helpful for this Padres team with that postseason run that they had. He had homers in the wild card series. He came through in that postseason. And then struggles with the Rockies, but catches on with the Padres late last year and plays well while the Padres are playing well to end the year. Comes back, $1 million. Loves the Padres, loves the fans. Just San Diego is what fits him. He comes in, doesn't really know what his role is going to be, because let's be honest, Padres are looking for upgrades over Profar in the offseason, or, you know, up until the season started, right? They were in on him, right? And they end up getting. He takes his role and freaking runs with it. And he's playing through the knee injury, or the knee pain. I don't want to say injury, but knee pain, because he is hurting. And he's having an MVP type season. No one saw this coming. I love the belt, by the way, and I guess he had this since 2021, but the belt in his locker, the post-game interview, by the way, this is so Profar. He's like, I don't care. Because all the, the media, they were asking Profar about the brawl, not the brawl, sorry, benches clearing, not a brawl. Benches clearing, and Profar didn't care. Like, I want to play baseball. I want to talk about baseball. And he's like, who cares? They were asking him small details. And he's like, who cares? Like, we're happy we won this baseball game. I'm happy that I'm helping this baseball team win baseball games. And when the media ask him a question and he replies, I can't like act how Profar does. I can't speak the way he does. But the way that he says yes, like, yes. I don't know. Like, I just love listening to him talk. Especially when he's playing well. That helps too. But I don't know. Just love him. And I was wearing on Monday when he had the walk-off, I was wearing the Mr. Relevant shirt, shout out Breaking T. You can click the link in the description to go find that shirt, by the way, if you want to support the future Padres All-Star, the 2024 Padres All-Star, starting outfielder in the National League All-Star game, Jurickson Profar. But his belt, go look up pictures. Just look up probably like Jurickson Profar belt on social media. You'll probably see a picture of it. It's great. Just, if you don't know about it, go look it up. But yeah, what a couple of games. And then the audio, by the way, which got misinterpreted. I saw that on social media from Davey Martinez. He was asked post game, and he was like, "I have the audio. I'll play it." He was like, "Yeah, I like the message that it sent." And I'm like, I like that message too. Thank you so much. The Padres like that message for sure. Here's Schilt, by the way, like 5-second clip.
Finish it. We're not going to start it, but we'll finish it.
Mike Schilt for you. And then here's the post game.
That was, that's all it really took, it was not, for me, it was a good way to send a message like, hey, Brad, you hit the ball, you won the game, but we're not going to tolerate that. So you say not tolerate that.
That's all you kind of really need to hear there. Not going to tolerate that. Send the message. And talking baseball, I saw they usually do a good job of gathering quotes, information from, sources around the league, beat writers and stuff, to, bring attention to what's going around baseball, right? But they misinterpreted what Dave Martinez said. And one of the Nats broadcasters, Dan Kolko, he was not happy. So I'm reading it right now. So Talking Baseball last night tweeted, Davey Martinez suggests the Nationals hit Jurickson Profar on purpose. Washington took exception to Profar celebrating a walk-off hit in the direction of the Nationals dugout. And they post the quote, not the video, but just the quote. It was a good way to send a message. Great, you hit the ball, you won the game, but we're not going to tolerate that. Davey Martinez on Jurickson Profar getting hit by a pitch. That's not what it was, though. Davey Martinez did not suggest the Nationals hit Profar on purpose. He was saying it was a good way to send a message, Keibert Ruiz getting in Profar's face. That's what he was saying. It was not about the hit by pitch. So, yeah, they got that one wrong. And Dan Kolko tweeted, "This is absolute trash and honestly a horrible reflection on however people want to define the media today. This is not at all what Davey said. He was saying Keibert Ruiz talking to Profar was a good way to send a message, do better talking baseball." And so, yeah, I think for the most part, they put together good stuff, and I think they keep fans up to date on what's happening around baseball. But yeah, they probably should have dug more and made sure that what they were saying there was accurate. Like how they were going to frame that quote, they probably should have made sure that that was accurate. By the way, which brings me to what I saw from Kevin Acee today. I forgot about bringing it up. Jeremiah Estrada. Talk about a competitor. He's lost 15 pounds since developing flu-like symptoms on June 11th. For some reason, limited to eating white rice and bread. I looked it up, and I guess it helps a little bit with flu-like symptoms. He says he has spent 4 hours throwing up, but continues to be available most days for the Padres. And his quote here, "I'd take a bullet for this team. If I'm going to die anywhere, it's going to be on that mound." You want a fan base to get behind you. I mean, we already were behind Jeremiah, but you want a fan base to get behind you, you say that. I don't know if this was Kevin asking Estrada or Estrada making it known, but we know that you've lost 15 pounds, flu-like symptoms, you're not feeling great. You're clearly not you. You're not as, Kevin put, like, he's not as energetic at times as he obviously once was before this. And you're out there still pitching your butt off and trying to compete. Padres fans, I know I don't try to speak for all of us very much. I just give my opinion. But I think that I'm speaking for every Padres fan. We appreciate you, Jeremiah. Now, there's a discussion of, well, the Padres know this. Why is he not on? There's a thing called the IL. Why isn't he on the IL? You know, if he's down 15 pounds, he's not himself. But the velocity is still there, I believe. So maybe that's why. And if Estrada is saying that he can pitch, the Padres want Jeremiah Estrada in that game over someone they call up from AAA. So, Jeremiah, I already loved you, and I loved you more after reading that. I take a bullet for this team. If I'm going to die anywhere, it's going to be on that mound. Just a competitor. And that's one of those quotes where it's like, this is a team. It's different from last year. And I'm not going to harp on last year, but it's just clear. They're not quitting. You're not hearing, or even if they ever did, it wouldn't be uttered in that clubhouse. You know? You got in Jackson Merrill, obviously a positive. Having Profar in there the whole year, a positive. Having last year happen and guys being motivated to not let last year happen, positive, right? We didn't want last year to happen, but if we want to take positives out of it because we can't go change what happened, positive. It's just different. They're a team. You've got guys playing through injuries, playing hurt for months before Tatis said, yep, and the trainers were like, yeah, probably should go on the IL. Manny can't get that right slot consistently. Hopefully he is going to now and, really get going. I'm seeing positive signs. Obviously, the homer was a freaking bomb. That was amazing. But we know he's dealing with the elbow, and he's not going to be 100% this year. He's said that to the media already, and it's probably a 2025 thing. You've got guys fighting through things because they want to be a helper for this team. They want to do what they can to help this team get to the postseason. They love each other, is what it seems like. Like, it's a bond. It's not forced chemistry where they have to, when they're on a road trip, they have to, get together at Nick Martinez's house in Miami to try to get better chemistry. I think that's what happened last year, right? That's not what's happening this year. You've got guys stepping up. Bullpen doesn't step up. Well, the offense scores 4 runs. Offense, not that great. Bullpen steps up. Or a starter steps up. I mean, we've seen that where the starter just pitches spectacular. Offense doesn't do a whole lot, but you win the game. Someone hits you. Someone takes exception to your celebration on your home field in front of your sold-out fans on a walk-off. The other team takes exception to that. We got you. They hit you. They, clear the benches. They're touching you. The catcher is touching you and pointing at you aggressively. We're not going to let that slide. We're going to hit a bomb. We got you, bro. It's different. It's a team. It is a real team. So I love that. All right. Quick break, and then I'll get to the chat. Check out Gaglione Bros' famous cheesesteaks and garlic fries on Friars Road. You can visit their website, gaglionebros.com, for their entire menu and enjoy their cheesesteaks and fries at Petco Park and Snapdragon Stadium as well. All right. Let's get to the chat. Laptop might die here. Let's see how. Okay. I should be able to get through most of the chat here. All right. Mark, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. If you have a comment in the chat, I will definitely try to get to that. You don't need to do another super chat. If I don't find it, I apologize ahead of time. Seat Mertlick, sweep. Connor says, what's up? What's up? Iron Swan wanted to give Cosgrove a chance, but it is what it is. Need another BP arm come trade deadline. Oh, for sure. And I don't want to give up on Cosgrove either, but there were some meatballs there for sure. He has the movement. Like, there's talent there. But, yeah, you can't leave pitches over the middle of the plate like that. Yeah, that was big today, Alexander. A one-hitter from Dylan Cease. John says, so the right-handed pods will be able to bounce a lot of balls off the tall green wall. Excellent. I sure hope so. It'll be Don's first time back as Padres broadcaster, by the way, because they haven't been to Fenway since 2013. That's a park that I want to go to, is Fenway. Like that would be a cool experience. Couldn't do it this year, but that would be cool. And that's one of the cool things is the Padres will get to go there more frequently instead of 2013 being the last time. Because remember, they would alternate home and away every 3 years, right? So 2013 they went. 2016, I think Boston was here. I remember they were wearing like their black uniforms. Pedroia was still playing for them. 2019, I think they came back here for some reason. And then COVID happened, the new schedule happened, and Red Sox came here last year, right? I think. Yeah, so the Padres, it's just their first time since 2013. I think the Padres will probably pull up a graphic of what the lineup was the last time the Red Sox played the Padres at Fenway. Wonder what that lineup's going to look like. 2013, so. I mean, we know some of the names, right? I think Headley was there, right, at that time. Venable. Was Hundley catching at that time, or was that more like no, it was Nick Hundley. So Yonder, Jed Jerko, Carlos Quentin, Alexi, yeah, the little ninja. Kristen Orfia, Jesus Guzman. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't call Jesus Guzman that. I said Jesus because I didn't know how to pronounce Jesus. I remember me and my mom going to a Padre game, and she was like, it's not Jesus, it's Jesus. Kyle Blanks, Mark Kotze, Yasmani Grandal, Tommy Medica, Cameron Maben, John Baker, Eric Stoltz, Andrew Kastner, Edinson Volquez, Jason Marquis, Tyson Ross, Ian Kennedy, Robbie Erlin, Clayton Richard, Tim Stauffer, Anthony Bass, Dale Thayer, what a name, Brad Boxberger, Joe Thatcher, Nick Vincent, Houston Street, Brad Brock, Miles Michaelis for 2 games, Luke Gregerson, I should not be getting excited about these names, but it just brings back some memories watching these games growing up. 2013, I was what, 10? Yeah. See, some fan bases were spoiled with like great players, great teams, playoffs every year. We got to remember those names. Dave says 83 and a half wins. Here comes the over. Hopefully. What are they at now? 3 over 500? Yep, 44 and 41. We'll see. By the way, some of the other great partners of the show, Breaking Tea, again, Mr. Relevant shirt, that's there. Click the link in the description. Underdog Fantasy, click the link in the description there. Up to $250 in, well, you'll get your prize, your special prize. You can claim your special prize. Then first time, 50% deposit match, up to $250. Code Talking Friars. Same code for SeatGeek, by the way. All right. Going through the chat here. Let's try to finish this up here. Chad says, love seeing the small ball spots executed perfectly. Totally agree. Enrique says 86 wins incoming. I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat. That's playoffs right there. And that's what I care about. As I said the other day, playoffs. As much as we want to talk about disappointment in some games, if they get to the postseason, that's what matters for me. Well, and then what they do after. But I'm talking about like regular season. What can you control? Is winning day in, day out, giving your best effort day in, day out, and get to the postseason. And then hopefully they are in a spot where they can go on a run. Yeah, if Higgy didn't hit that granny today, ooh, this game would have turned out a little bit different, right? Irie says Manny heating up, 415 average past 7 games. Like what I'm seeing there, for sure. John says, Ben, just running smack. I hope to see you on the Jim Rome show one day soon. Jim Rome show? Does he talk baseball? I know he's had on like Padres guests before, but does he talk baseball? All I know him for is he used to be the show before 97.3 The Fan went to all day programming. He would be on after Ben and Woods. That's all I know. And then I would like change the channel. No disrespect to him. I just don't really care about a national radio show guy for the most part. Talking about the NFL. Like, I just don't care. Dylan wants to join the show. What's up, Dylan?
What's up, Ben? I what a great series, man. I mean, absolute cinema. I just want to come on here and just kind of give my thoughts on the team. I was going back and looking at some of the comparisons from this year's team, the last year's team. This team just feels different. I don't know if anybody else can feel that, but this team just feels different. Like
Yeah, I said that earlier. Yeah, for sure.
like we have right now we have about $1 billion worth of contracts on the injured list, but they're winning games. They're finding ways to win from guys that you wouldn't expect that kind of production from. And last year it was like we had all these contracts healthy for the most part, but we weren't doing anything. And it's just like you know I just it's more fun to watch this team. I have more faith in this team making the playoffs. I know it's been an up and down ride these past couple of weeks. We've had what, 3 5-game losing streaks, one of them coming in this month, and then we just swept 2 teams. Like it's really there's a lot going on this season that I enjoy more to watch as a fan, and it's really been enjoyable, even though it's been a roller coaster.
Yeah, and the two main people that I would point to that is Profar and Merrill. Guys, not making a lot of money. Profar wants to play baseball. He's smiling all the time, cares about winning. And Jackson Merrill, I mean, talk about someone that cares about winning and is willing to do whatever it takes. That's the guy too. Their personalities have been awesome to experience like day in and day out. Yeah, it's different, but it's different for, multiple reasons. But it's also clear why it's different, It's just I don't know how much the Mike Schilt effect is on that, but I want to give credit to the players themselves too, because there is a difference there. Um, and there's a lot of guys that were on that team last year where maybe they've been motivated by other guys in that clubhouse. And that has helped them turn some things around. I think, like I said earlier about the motivation of getting embarrassed last year, it happened. We wish it didn't happen, but maybe we're going to say later this year that we're glad that it happened because of what ends up happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a team. The quotes that we're hearing, the the Manny home run the other day, and how everyone's out of the dugout. Yeah, it just feels different.
Yeah. And to your point about Profar Merrill, they're fan favorites, but going into the season, they're making what this year? Like 1,750,000 this year combined.
Yeah,
Nobody expected this production out of them, but they've turned into, like, I don't know. I obviously Profar is an all-star. Merrill, I know you have a case, and so do I. Like, this team is getting production from a lot of guys, and I mean, like, Machado, obviously not clearly not at full strength. Tatis just went on the IL. He was producing for a while. Bogarts has played less than half the games this season, and then you have Darvish and Musgrove, who really, I mean, Darvish has done more than Musgrove has, but Musgrove has really done. I mean, I don't want to say I like when he's been out there, he's been all right at best. But
yeah,
it's really fun to watch this team. It just and this team's not at full strength. You think about, like, what this team could be if we were at full strength, So I really have faith for the future. I came on the show last week when we got swept by the Mets, and I was really, like, feeling down and, like, saying calling for AJ Preller's head, blah blah blah. But, like, it's a roller coaster. We're gonna ride it out. It's gonna be. I anticipate fun times ahead for this team.
for sure. Thanks, Dylan. Yeah, just
Yeah,
be
for sure.
prepared for us getting swept by the Red Sox, because that's just the roller coaster of being a Padres fan. Sometimes, not saying that I think that's actually going to happen. I'm just kind of joking around, but I mean, it wouldn't be the most shocking thing. I mean, we'd be surprised the way the team's playing right now. But the Red Sox, they're actually playing pretty well. They are outperforming expectations as well. I don't maybe I shouldn't say as well, because I mean, we're 3 games over 500. It's not like we're 10 games over. That would be outperforming expectations. But I mean, what a good series can do for you, we can feel a whole lot different about this team, huh? And this was a bonding series as well. Like, I already thought this team was different, but this you want a you know, give me point out a series, Ben, that shows that this team is a team, an actual team, and it's this one, no doubt. Iron Swan says Gore needs an Oscar after that fine acting performance. I think he was. I don't think he actually meant to do that, but I feel like I'm on an island on this one. Davey said it was on purpose. He didn't say the pitch. The message that was sent was Keibert Ruiz. That's what he was referring to there. He wasn't referring to Gore hitting Profar as, yeah, it was a good message. Iron Swan says moments like those where I think the Lord Manny is a Padre despite him making bank. Well, yeah. I mean, we know how talented Manny is, right? I think that's where the frustration comes from. We're not as frustrated in Luis Camposano. I think being a little bit underwhelming this year. I know he's on the IL right now. We're not as frustrated in him as we are in Manny when Manny underperforms, right? There's a different expectation. Part of that is the track record, and part of that is the money these guys are making. And the comments as well. I think some Padres fans, they don't like the comments from Manny. I was about to say that, but I'm not going to say that. Sorry. If you know, you know in the comments. Mark says, did you hear the Nats wiki page had Profar listed as the owner? I did, but then I looked it up and I saw it and someone changed it. Or it never was like that and someone just was messing around on their own. But when I went to look that up, Profar was not the owner of the Nationals. They had the actual owner, the Lerner family. Yeah, miscontextualized was that talking baseball tweet. Yeah. Yeah, hopefully Estrada gets better. It didn't sound me reading that this morning, it didn't sound great, but I love that he's going out there and wants to pitch and cares a lot about this team. Travis says Profar deserves in-season bonus money for pick a reason. Pick a reason why. He is getting it, by the way. Incentives. By like the amount of at bats, I think. I think that's what the incentives. I'm not so sure they have like MVP finish incentives in there because who's thinking about that with Profar when he signs a 1-year, $1 million contract? But they probably should have that in there if you're Profar. He's going to get top 10 MVP votes if he has this season, the whole year. They'll have no choice. Because if you look at the F war, a lot of that's in the AL with Bobby Witt, with Gunnar, with Aaron Judge. A lot of that's Soto. That's AL. I think he's 18th going into today in F war, which you take away the AL guys, and I think that's top 10 in the NL. Yes, Peter is another motivation, obviously missing the postseason, but then that as well. And he would be so proud. Yeah, he would. I know he's smiling about this with this series that just happened. Imagine how big his smile was up there when Manny hit that home run, when Profar had the walk-off. Gosh. He's already an optimistic guy, right? We all knew that. He must have the biggest smile on his face after a series like that. So, Peter, I hope you are proud of this team and how together they seem. Like they're pulling on the same rope. And hopefully part of that is the motivation for Peter, because that means like he made that impact on the Padres. And it's not just, oh, let's put a heart on the jersey and just, yeah, cool, whatever. But like they're actually thinking about it. Oh, I had a feeling this was going to come up. Camera says Pro deserves a few of them Hawk Tuas. That video is hilarious. I can't get. I scroll social media and that's like I'm still seeing updates on it, and then there's different versions of it. Yeah. I was actually gonna make that joke when Jim came on the show this week because I saw him talking about it as well. And like Schilt is definitely giving some of that to Manny. Loves doing that. When Manny hit that bomb yesterday. Oh man. But yeah, that was hilarious. Did you see that the Cardinals broadcast actually someone on the broadcast? It wasn't like actually in like trying to imitate the girl, but it was just the old man voice. He literally just said like Hawk Tua on the broadcast because I think Brendan Donovan spit on his shoulder to do for something. Yeah. So it has been widespread. I'm surprised a Padre has not brought it up. To be honest, I was thinking like Merrill or someone would bring it up. I don't know. Bryce Harper, I know he said it in one of his like double celebrations recently. Yeah, but hey, I'm giving Profar his praise. I am giving him my version of that, I guess. What a season he has had so far, huh? 892 OPS, hitting 316. Go vote. I think we're like one of the last couple days now on All-Star game votes. Go vote for this guy. 11 homers, 55 runs driven in, 90 hits, 45 runs scored, 892 OPS. We thought 2022 was a good Profar year. His OPS was 722. Had a 243 average. This year, 316, 892 OPS. I mean, nuts. I didn't mean to say nuts that way. It's nuts what he's doing. Okay. Chad, by the way, check out Chad's YouTube. Does great stuff when the Padres leave for the airport. Says Estrada didn't get on the bus to the airport today. I mean, I'm not opposed to that, to be honest. I know Estrada is one of the high leverage relievers, but he hasn't been pitching like that. Let's get healthy Jeremiah, Even with Jeremiah, there's scares in the bullpen, So those are going to happen. Let's get Jeremiah to a doctor, Let's get this thing figured out. Oh, Travis, that's a low blow. Ask, can we drop off Bogarts when we play Boston? Come on, man. When Bogarts is back, I'm actually, and I'm serious. I'm actually wearing a Bogart shirt right now, to be honest. Obviously, I'm rooting for him. He wants to win. I haven't questioned that with Bogarts. He's a baseball rat. And I am very interested in seeing how he performs when he comes back. Not the one-handed finish, the two-handed finish on the swing. He's going to be careful with that. And he's going to have a lot of time to work. A lot of time to get away from thinking about at-bats every day. He was frustrated, taking a lot of swings in the cages when things weren't going well earlier this year. So hopefully when he comes back refreshed, things are going to be good. We'll see where he plays defensively. How many DH days is he going to get? Are we going to see the power? Remember last year when he got back from the wrist issues, he played really well right after the wrist stuff. So hopefully right after this, he'll play really well. Because if we get a Bogarts playing well and Manny hitting stride, we'll see when Tatis comes back. But Profar, Crony has been very great for this team. Merrill, obviously. I mean, that's only going to help the offense. Camera says maybe that explains that dude vomiting on the mound yesterday. Estrada did? I know Hunter Green did, right? That was who did it. I didn't know that Estrada did. Ari says, I feel like society is getting a little dumber every time you hawk to us. Stop drinking the TikTok Kool-Aid. I don't have TikTok. I saw it on social media. Yeah. Iron Swan says, Amarista reincarnated into sugar and now plays outfield. I can see that a little bit. This team definitely feels different, and it is different. Yeah, it is. It is, for sure. Yeah, a lot of off days in July. That's the good news. For just every player's health, but Tatis, less games that you miss. Anyone else who goes on the IL, less games you miss. Musgrove, Darvish. We'll see how long he goes. Yeah, shout out to Tyler Wade, T. Wade. All vibes. Not all vibes. He does the fundamental things right. Willing to do whatever it takes. He's the emergency catcher for this team. Yeah. I wasn't the hugest fan just going in because I saw doesn't have power. The Padres, you probably want offense in those bench spots, but he's won me over. Yeah, John Boy's probably going to have a breakdown. He's got to, right? He's busy, but yeah, probably going to have a breakdown on this whole Padres national stuff. That'll be fun. I was going to do it, but I've been busy. I've been working, and I've given all my thoughts on it here. And the last time I did a breakdown, and it took me like an hour to do it, 2 hours, because there's a lot that goes into it. It got demonetized, and so that was just like, oh, come on, you know. I can still do it, but I feel like I should have already started doing it if I was going to do it. And then Padres Hot Tub, they put out a video, like a voiceover of the walk-off the other night. I thought that was pretty good. So I think I'll just wait for John Boy and then react to it. He does a great job. Oh, we got some people that don't know what Hawk 2 is. All right, I'll stop talking about it. You're missing out. It's hilarious. I think. Well, yeah. AC reported this earlier. Bogey was going to travel with the team. Yep. He couldn't pass up the Boston trip. I don't even know if he would have passed it up. Like, he's progressing. He's hitting on the field now too. So it makes sense for him to go as well. But even if he wasn't, he would go to sit there in the dugout and be back in Boston. They're going to do a tribute video to Dawn, I would think, right? I know it's not his first time back. He's done some national games, but first time with Mud, Padres broadcast. Hopefully they do something. That would be cool. Give him the first pitch. He's a fan favorite there. Red Sox fans, or when I post videos of Dawn, it was definitely last year where it was a lot, 2022. But they're not every tweet, but a lot of them, it's a Red Sox fan saying, "We miss you, Dawn. Red Sox, biggest mistake ever." They miss that guy. So he's going to get a big ovation there. Off day tomorrow. Then the Red Sox, who right now, what's their record right now? They're over 500, I believe. Their games got suspended today against Toronto. 43-37. So that should be good enough for a playoff spot, right, for them? Yeah. They hold the final wild card spot right now, tied with the Kansas City Royals for that final wild card spot. Baltimore's 50-30 with the first wild card. The Twins are 44-36 with the second. How about the Guardians this year, huh? Leading the AL Central at 51-27. Mariners lead the AL West 46-37. Yankees lead the AL East 52-30. Red Sox 43-37. Royals 44-38. And Padres 44-41. They hold the last wild card spot. So a matchup of the 6 seeds right now. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. My laptop is about to die, so I'm going to have to cut it here a little bit shorter than maybe some would want. Or maybe you're like, man, you've been yapping for way too long. But have a good night, everyone. Hopefully you enjoy the off day. See y'all later.